Welcome to the Shades of Grey podcast with Dr. John Gray, New York Times bestselling author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And now, Dr. John Gray.
Hey everybody, we're going to have a fun day today. Christmas season is coming, or is here, and this is the time of happiness and joy and peace and love. And people kind of feel like, why is everybody else happy and not me? Well, it's because we're all stressed out, and Christmas adds stress to all of that. The holidays add stress to that because you have to connect with your family, and you're supposed to be happy and joyful. But what happens is it activates a time in your life when you were joyful, when life was simple, when there was happiness, when there was family, when there was connection. And it's not happening. So what's going on? And what's going on is this is my warm up because I know people are coming in and I don't want them to miss out on the real juice today. But the warm up is a little bit of review of what men want from women. First of all, let's just look at that. I'm always talking about what women need, what women need, what women need. And the reason why I talk about that is what women need. Men don't know how to give it to you, and you shouldn't expect him to. But you can ask for help, and he'll give you what you want. You just have to know what to ask for, which is what he can give you. But what does he want? You know, I'm so used to getting everything I want in my relationship because I've learned how to provide the support women need so that women can feel good. And when women feel good, it just brings out the best in men. And what does she give me when I help her to feel good? She gives me peace. This is the most important thing that men need. We're fighting battles. We're in war zones all day long. And when we come home, we just want to have peace. We want somebody who's happy to see us. We want somebody who is affectionate to us. Now, I'm getting all this because I like it. I've subscribed to some of on X, I've subscribed to some of the Christian women, and they're sort of defending men. You know, they're anti-feminists and they're defending men. And they're basically saying, look, ladies, he's working all the time. His life is a struggle. He feels responsible. He deals the difficult things. He does the dangerous things. He does all of that. And what does he ask for? What does he ask for? He asks, just let when I come home, be happy to see me, be peaceful. And one of the things that's a problem with all of this, you know, all it takes, like if you have an engine that's running, all it takes is one little screw turned the wrong way. And here's the one little screw that's looked at the wrong way, which is they talk about what men need. He just needs peace and he needs affection. And there's no question about that. But what we have to do, a relationship is two people, is that men have to provide a certain type of support for women to give him that peace. And what is that support? And why do we not know how to do it? Because historically, men were doing a lot of jobs that women didn't have to do and didn't want to do. So when a man is doing a lot of stuff that you don't want to do, then you're so happy with him. You're so grateful to him that you don't have to do those things, that some of those things you can do and some of those things you can't do. And he's out there doing it for you. You have so much gratitude. You don't even think, how could I complain about him? You give him peace. You give him comfort. But today the story changes, and you also give him, quote, affection. That's the Christian code word for wanting to have sex, okay? That you want to have sex with him. He's not having to convince you to have sex. You want to have sex with him. See, that's when your estrogen levels are really high. Then your body can want to have sex. Your body can't want to have sex if your estrogen levels are low. Just take that in. And when you're working all day, women, in a stressful world, when you're battling the world, when you feel I don't have enough time, when there's not enough money, when there's not enough food, when there's not enough support, when you're battling, like the man is out there battling, there's a war zone and you're in that war zone too. You can't come back to give him peace. It's not possible. And then they throw on, give him peace. And then they throw on, give him affection. Well, affection, secret word for it's affection. It always leads to sex. That's what it means. There's the 5 love languages. I like that book. It doesn't understand that men and women are different. You really need that knowledge, but it also helped expand our awareness to realize that people are different and they have different preferences. Now, when it comes to the 5 love languages, every woman needs all of those 5 things. Maybe one or the other is what she thinks she needs, but actually what she thinks she needs is just the surface. There's always deeper ones. But all 5 he basically labeled all the things that women need, except for the one which is called affection. And that's the one when they do a survey of when men say, what's my love language? Meaning what language can you speak that I will feel loved? They always say affection. And of course, affection is the code word for sex. When a woman wants to have sex with a man, it's not just the sex part, it's the love. Because for a woman to want to have sex, it means that already her estrogen levels are so high. And her estrogen levels going high indicate that she's trusting him. She feels safe in his presence. She feels safe because of him. He's there and she feels safe. Second is she feels at ease and comfortable, lucky. She accepts him just as he is. When you really need something and you get it and you feel like I have what I need, then suddenly you're like, yeah, I have what I need. I don't have this and I don't have that, but I do have what I need. You can't always get what you want. You can't always get perfection. You can't get perfection. But what you can get is what's most important to you. Is that Rolling Stones song had it right, which you can't always get what you want. Yeah, everybody wants more. Oh, I want millions of dollars. Oh, I want happy family, no conflict. Okay, everybody has what they want, but you're unhappy if you expect that you're going to get everything you want. But you can get what you need, and you have to identify what you need. And what's good about those women, these Christian wives who are beautiful women, sexy women who say, "Come on, women, give him the affection, give him what he needs," and without a doubt, it's good to have that direction. But all you're going to do is feel guilty because you can pretend for a while, but you can't really give him that, and he won't really receive that if you're pretending. But it's still a good direction, and it's nice to be reminded of what's our goal here. The goal is that man's fighting a battle, he comes home to peace. But women, if you're out there fighting that battle, you come home and you need him to provide for you what you need so you can give him peace. So it's a very, very challenging today without an understanding of gender differences. And the whole idea of women wanting to have sex with their husbands, certainly you shouldn't, after all he does and tries to do. And then, the main thing he needs is the affection, and you just withhold your affection. Well, it's not so much a conscious act. Sometimes women do withhold affection to punish him. But even when they're punishing, that's when their brain has been hijacked by stress. And when you're stressed, your estrogen is low. When you want to be affectionate with your partner, then what happens is biologically your estrogen level is at a very high level. And that means to a man that he is successful in creating safety for you. And therefore, you're giving him in that moment through your facial expressions, through your connection. Thanks so much, Gigi, for all the support. You're grateful to him and you trust him and you accept him, even though he's not perfect. So what if things aren't perfect? But the most important things are being fulfilled. So you have acceptance, peace. And the third is you appreciate. You so much appreciate that, like the traditional woman. My mother, for example, she so much appreciated my dad. She didn't have to go out there and fight the battle. She could be home and feel safe in a nice neighborhood with her children, doing what she wanted to do. Amazing. Well, we can't have that today in many cases, unless you have a more traditional relationship, which is beautiful. It's just not, for me to be preaching traditional relationships, it's not just happening. It's like, unfortunately, we're in a secular society. People don't even believe in God, which is too bad. One of the major sources of estrogen for women, major, is to believe God is on her side. Whether some people think, oh, you're making it up. If you're making it up, where's the tangible evidence? I like that where people were talking. I was reading someone say, oh, big breakthrough. We found a scientific discovery for God. Yeah, there's no science. We have formulas and we have, what is it? Formulas. That's good. Equations that prove that God exists. It's just like silliness. I'm glad they're doing it. They need to do it because they don't experience the divine presence. All I have to do is say, dear God, my heart is open to you. Come. And my body is filled with divine energy. The universe responds to me. It's intelligent. It's wise. And yet, unfortunately, people don't have that experience. And the churches and religions often just have dogma and belief system. And they're like parents telling you what you should do, what you shouldn't do, which is fine at a lower state of evolution. But people can feel this energy. When you can feel the energy, you don't doubt that God exists. It's certainly not a guy sitting on a throne somewhere, but it's the life force energy that responds. It's intelligent. You ask for help, it comes. Things get organized for you, but you have to take the steps. You have to go the steps first. So coming back to, one of the sources of estrogen is certainly when women have that divine experience, then they don't rely so much on the man to do everything. Or we can look at the idea when women disconnect from all their girlfriends, their social life, in order to focus on their marriage and their family, they're missing out on something that they need. It's like a vitamin. It's somebody who experiences what she experiences. Ideally, she finds women to interact with who experience what she experiences, who also love their husbands. If you're just hanging out with women who don't have any positive, is that what are you saying there, Rich? Let's see, Rich. We're getting feedback there.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm here.
Okay. What happens is when she's relating with other women who have no awareness of how wonderful men are, then she's just going to absorb that. It's important for women to be able to vent, to talk about problems and whatever in the context of, isn't my husband wonderful, or aren't men great? And yes, they're not perfect, but they sure can provide what's most important. And what's most important for women used to be provided by a society that was sane. We have an insane society. We have a crazy society. I mean, the thought that you can raise a child without a man, to me, is insane. It's like doing it all yourself, women, and you do it all yourself. All you're doing is you're on your independent side. That's called the masculine side. That produces male hormones. It doesn't produce female hormones. So you don't have enough estrogen. So now, even if you try to find a guy, it's hard because he doesn't have that spark. So many women who are single or divorced in their 40s, they go, I'm dating men, but they just don't have the spark. I can't feel the spark. The spark comes from you. It's your high estrogen levels. But when you have so much independence, what happens is your estrogen levels go down. And when you think, okay, how can I have a loving relationship? You have to focus on how can I build up my estrogen, which puts less energy into making money, live a simpler life, let go of your big ambitions to be CEO of the world, stop working in the government so much. These are just heartless jobs. Anybody who works in the government at a higher level knows that it's all corruption. You sell your soul when you lie to people, all under the name of government secrets. I look at these women, the woman who runs the EU, she's like a demon. She's like a demon. She has no heart at all. It's like, and it's ironic. Everything is the opposite. Oh, I have such a big heart. I want to take the people from the poor parts of the country and bring them here into Europe and destroy our culture. It's like suddenly everybody who's poor and uncivilized and whatever in the world should come here and live in my house. Well, nobody's living in her house. Complete selfishness, complete narcissism. This is what government is, unfortunately. I don't know who these people are, the way they treat people. Why are we paying taxes? Why are you paying taxes? This is the stupidest thing ever. In America, until 1914, we were a rich country. We were the richest country. And then we start paying taxes. It's insane. And why do we pay taxes? Because we stopped printing our own money. So we had to borrow money from people who just printed it up. And now we pay interest. So we have to be taxed to pay the interest. It's so crazy. And then what we did in this country is we took all of the jobs here and sent them offshore to the poor countries where they would work cheaper, slave labor there, and think we're making their culture better. Well, to some extent, there's some logic to that, but we made our country worse. And we have to take care of your own home first. We have to take care of ourselves first. If you're not willing to let people from another country come live in your house, then stop letting them come into the country. It's all just simple. So now we bring that back to our relationships. In relationships, men want to move into a woman. We want to feel affection. We want her affection. Well, you got to earn it. Just like out in the world, you earn your money. You have to learn how to earn the support of a woman. And, I know this one woman online would just say, "Oh, poor men, they have to earn your love." Yes, of course you have to earn love. Whatever you do, you have to earn if you're a man. If I'm competing with a friend and we're playing tennis together and I win and he says, "Well, I just let you win," then it's not exciting. Competition is part of masculinity, and working hard is part of masculinity. It's dignity. It's look what I did and look at the result I produced. Now just apply that same masculinity to your wife. Look what I did. And this woman who was stressed out, I helped her let it go. So this is where, yes, women should feel the responsibility. What do they bring to a relationship? You bring money to a relationship. Men don't want your money, although you might need money, but they don't want your money. They want your happiness. They want your peace. They want to come home and feel like you're grateful to them. So when you're stressed out at work and he's stressed out at work, where does the peace come? This is where women knowing, okay, what I want is to provide this man who is doing this for me. I do love him. What can I do to give him peace, to give him affection? What can I do to raise my estrogen? And let me use him to raise my estrogen. And that is the most important part of this, is understanding that women, when you use a man, then you'll feel appreciative to him. You'll accept what he provides for you if he can provide what you need. And then you will trust him. And trusting him is the most important thing. It was so sweet talking to my wife today. She says, "I just can't believe what an amazing husband you are. I just feel so safe. I don't trust anybody but you." Well, I'd like her to have other people she trusts, but right now, she can be whoever she wants to be with me because it's safe. I don't get defensive. I don't get argumentative, and and men will get defensive and argumentative. They haven't been teaching relationships for 40 years, so you can't expect that to automatically happen. What you can understand is when you talk to a man and you need to talk about the things in your life. I'm hearing this buzzing. Okay, so I don't know what that is. When you're talking to a man, don't blame him for anything. Whenever you blame a man, he will shut down, and then you will have a lot to complain about. Okay, when you blame and complain, a man will shut down, and then you'll have more to complain about. Why do you have more to complain about? Because you blamed a man. And why did you blame a man? Because you think a man is responsible for your happiness. And because he did make you happy in the beginning, that's your experience. And he does have the power to make you happy, but really he only has the power to make you happier. In the beginning, you were happy just imagining. He wasn't having to do that much. You were imagining now you're going to get what you need, which is the right thing. This is a potential to get what you need, but you have to learn how to get what you need. And it's different. You don't have to earn it. See, men have to earn it. We have to do something. We have to provide something. We have to interact in a way that makes you happier. You don't have to do anything, although you think you do, because you don't understand what it means to be feminine. You just have to be true to yourself. And being true to who you are, just be who you are, radiate who you are. And who are you? Are you an angry person? Are you a mistrusting person? Are you a selfish person? Are you an ungrateful person? Are you a resentful person? Is that who you are? No, that's not who you are. You need to be who you are, and you need a man's help to find yourself. What do you need a man for? You need a man's help to find out who you are. because you lose who you are all the time. And when you find your help, when you find yourself through a man's support that you ask for, he doesn't know how to do it, nor is he naturally motivated to do it. If you don't ask him to do it, he assumes you don't need his help. Why is it that men aren't asking for help, asking for directions, asking for support, whatever? He seems so independent. Because we don't need to ask for help. And when you ask for help, you weaken your confidence that I can't do it myself, so I need help. That's why men rarely go to doctors. What's he going to do? I can figure it out myself. And now he's got Grok. He can figure anything out and research that. And there's nothing wrong with a man needing help if he's already pursued every avenue of doing it himself. Why does he do that? Because that produces testosterone. And you do it yourself, you produce testosterone. And somebody does it for you, you make estrogen and you become weak. I heard somebody today. Oh, it was a funny TV skit. And I saw my message was going out there. It was like some guy was upset or whatever. And they were saying, well, he's just too estrogen. He's a pussy. Now, this was great. This is when a man was angry and upset and complaining. And they clearly saw he's got too much estrogen. He's a pussy. See, that's finally getting into our culture, is that when men become feminized, they become angry. When men become feminized, they become the worst self. They become the worst qualities of a man because he's not anchored in his masculinity. We've been feminized, we've been weakened. And as we weaken, what weakens men the most is all these women who are independent. See, this is a subtle version of it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that weakens men. They've got the estrogen, or was it atrazine, the pesticide, inhibits testosterone production and turns the frogs gay. It turns the frogs into females. It causes them to have both genitals. Just simply exposing these pesticides to them. It's in our water. It's all in your water. They're doing this. Who's doing this? I don't know who's doing this. All I know is that there's evil in the world. Evil exists. If there's good, there's evil. And we know that if we just look at it psychologically instead of the spiritual reality of being possessed by demons. You can look at it another point of view, is that you're a psychopath. This is well documented. There are people that are only happy when they hurt others. They're only happy when they hurt others. They're possessed by this. Their brain just taken over by this. They calculate, how can we kill? How can we destroy? This exists. This is not the man you're in relationship with. Okay. They don't care about relationship. They just care about power. They want to have governments. They want to control people. They want to control everything. And please do not take the mark. Don't get your, the ID that they want to give you, where they can now control all your money and they can cut you off if you disagree. This is what I heard recently, is somebody was saying that, hey, I don't mind all this surveillance. It's good. It will help them catch the criminals more. Why not surveil everything? Why not look at it? I'm not doing anything wrong. That's what I feel. I'm not doing anything wrong. But you have to realize who's setting up that structure with the big IE computer that can control everything. I mean, it's amazing how big these computers are, and they want to build huge computer bases so that they can cover everything. They can control everything. They can create smart cities. Everything is controlled. And hey, you won't have to work even if you don't want to. You can just live in meta land and have fantasy world. And a lot of people go, well, that's cool. I use my meta all the time. That's great. There's no heart in it. There's no fulfillment in it. It's just being a drug addict until you want to commit suicide. It's an empty road. It's through being human beings. It's loving each other. It's sharing with each other. It's making love with a real person, not a robot. And even men, when you're having sex online, that's a robot. That's fake. Okay. It's a digital screen. You need real energy from a woman and to open your heart, to feel. This is part of why there's so much, all the psychopaths, which you don't realize. There's 400,000 children are missing every year. They're trafficked to a bunch of pedophiles, and a lot of them die. And these are little children, boys and girls. And this is real stuff. It's finally coming out. It's horror. It's a horror show. You can't even imagine it. I never had that experience. It's hard to even imagine that somebody could be that evil. But what happens is that in order for them to feel more how good they feel when they hurt, when they destroy God's creation, when they pollute it, the reason they can feel so good, particularly with young children, is because young children are so innocent. It awakens their ability to feel it even more. They can feel it even more. It's a drug. It's sickness. It's psychopath beyond anything you can comprehend. They don't go to jail. They run the system. So anyway, back to what we need in our lives is peace. And I understand this is too much negativity, so excuse me for that. But the reality is none of that power, none of that evil can hold. It's being exposed now. And the way we expose it is with trust in God, that this is the plan, this is the unfolding, this is a natural thing, is that we're perfectly fit together. Good and bad, and good always triumphs. Good and bad, and good always triumphs. It will always triumph. It just takes time. But what do we do in our lives? We're powerless to change all that. Why even talk about all that? It's just like, only reason for that is step into your life and value that you have love in your life, that your partner's not a psychopath, that you have a real person, someone who can love you and support you. And women, how can you give men peace when they've changed our whole culture and made it so you're fighting battles all day long? You can't give him peace. How can you give him? You can't give him affection unless you learn. This is where you have to use your intelligence here. You're fighting a battle, but you can win that battle. And the battle is when you're stressed out, and you are stressed out, unless you're giving him peace, and unless you're giving him affection and joy. Happy to see him. These are the bottom line things that men need is, when you give a man peace, it's because you feel safe. See, there's war and then there's peace. War is dangerous. Peace is safety. When you feel safe, what happened is a man just won the war. Okay, so how to help him feel he just won the war is to use him to help you feel safe. And then when you feel safe, when you feel peace, he will feel peace. And this is how you keep the spark alive in relationships as well. When you use a man to raise your estrogen, to come back to yourself, your loving self, your happy self, your fulfilled self, when you're using a man to come back to your center, yourself, then what happens is, because he feels successful in providing safety for you, his mirror neurons, these are the part of the brain that allows you to feel what other people feel. Men don't have them open most of the time. That's why we need a woman who feels appreciation and safety. Whenever a woman feels appreciation and safety, it will open a man's mirror neurons. The maximum place is mirror neurons open, where he can feel what you feel. And so when you're not blaming him, and you're feeling peaceful, then his brain opens and he can feel peaceful. You become, the source of fulfillment in his life. Now, not the only source of fulfillment. This is interesting. Where for men have a cycle. We have our hormonal cycle. We have to work and then relax. Work and then relax. And then we can experience fulfillment by providing support to a woman. I'm going to work. I'm going to fight the battle. Then I have to rebuild my testosterone. The battle is there. If I can't feel totally successful, then my testosterone will be suppressed. Okay. Whenever I'm successful, I'm making testosterone. If I'm not making success, I'm not fulfilling the needs of others, which is success, then my body is no longer activating the testosterone. So it gets suppressed. How do I awaken it again? Is have some cave time activity of pure independence, whatever it is. If I'm on my own, this is why throughout history, you see in all these places, you see these people, men meditating, mainly men meditating. And why is that? Because meditation is just being completely silent. What is in the Christian religion? Be silent and hear the voice of God. It's just peaceful, quiet. He has to become quiet. He has to become peaceful. He has to feel confident that what he's doing, he can be successful at. That's also a hobby. It can be a hobby as well. It can also be playing some sports. It could be watching some sports. It can be the news. any of these things where he's not engaged in solving somebody else's problem that could cause stress. Now, when I'm watching a basketball game, you're thinking, oh, do this, do this. Oh, don't do that, do this. You're solving problems in your mind. You're kind of the coach behind the stands and behind the screen, but there's no consequence to you whether they win or lose. There's no financial survival consequence. And that's what a hobby is. It's something that challenges you to solve problems, to get better at something. But the consequence, if you don't, is not going to be that bad. So you're not going to be producing stress. You're going to have just pure confidence and independence. So confidence, independence, hobby, that raises a man's testosterone back up, that pushes down his stress hormones. Now that he's stress-free, he feels incomplete. He needs to connect with his female side. So now he wants to go over to his female side and plug in. He wants to plug into his female side with affection. Or it doesn't have to be just that form of affection. It can be just simply helping his partner be happier. So it's not a problem that women are unhappy. The problem is when a man doesn't know how to make her happier, how to help her find her happiness. And the key thing there is it's her responsibility to find that happiness inside of herself. She wants that, right? But she can learn to create that without depending on him fully. She has to initiate the action for her to become happy. And what is that action for her to become happy? Take responsibility. We're all grown-ups, right? It's not going to be handed to us. But you don't have to earn it. All you have to do is be yourself. It's an amazing concept. Men have to earn. I heard him say, oh, poor men, they have to earn a woman's love. That's not love. Yes, it is. That's what love is. It's like my devotion. I want to do things for you. I want to give to you. And if I do things for you and I give to you and you don't appreciate, why should I do it? If you're not happy. So we have to create a situation where women can realize what is the most important thing she needs. The thing that will lower her stress so that she can then appreciate a man, so she can feel safe, so she can give him the peace. And then occasionally she can give him the affection. The affection, it's not healthy for men to be addicted to sex. Okay. So I think that it's natural that when a man actually is bonded to a woman, healthier things happen. Prolactin gets produced. It decreases his need for sex a lot. Okay, he has a need for sex, but he also needs affection on an emotional level. He needs to participate in the family more, whatever. So as soon as you have children, the body will produce different hormones that make him not as interested in sex as he was when there were no children, because nature says you have to have more energy to be a father, to be there for your children. It's not just about sex. But, if you don't have kids, a lot of it is about sex for a guy. It's his way of going to his female side. And there's other ways. And that addiction to sex, which, it can be addictive. It's a big dopamine spike. And certainly if he has any interaction on porn online, then he has that big dopamine spike. His wife can't produce that dopamine spike for him. And she'll sense that and she'll lose interest as well. She wants to feel I'm bringing him to the highest level as he brings me to the highest level. So the whole idea here is women know that if you're with a man, what he needs from you is he needs your peace. He needs your trust. Now, where everybody gets it wrong, as I was watching this, it's the very thing I see over and over and over, is that men need peace. Yes. Men need affection. Yes. Men need respect. No. Okay. Men need trust, admiration. Look how amazing he is. And then you can respect them. But long before you can respect a man, he needs to respect you. That's a very key factor. We say, oh, men need respect. Yes. If you're trusting and you're admiring and you're appreciating, you will respect him more. He will be somebody worthy of leading you where you need to go. So you don't have to think about everything all the time. As one woman said, yes, my husband is the leader. He's the head of the household, but I'm the neck that causes him to change one way or the other. It's a mutual thing. It's not just men deciding and he's got the idea. No, he hears her point of view. He values her point of view. They negotiate things. But the final word is he leads the way. But he leads the way as a win-win. But he determines it because he's holding the responsibility of it. When you lead, it's a major stress, okay? Unless because you're holding responsibility, it's a burden to be the leader. And when women are the leaders, they're going to be more stressed out. That's what it is. They're basically, anytime you're having to make decisions for the well-being of others, the final decision, it's it's the consequences is yes or no. You're in a place of causing stress because you don't have a guaranteed result. Uncertainty. There's always going to be a level of uncertainty. So this is why they figured this out. Let the men lead, but let the men honor and love and cherish the woman. Okay, so cherishing the woman is only if he's getting a lot of affection can a man cherish a woman. I'll tell you that. And he needs to have and also feel peaceful. So good. You come home and it's like a pillow. It's like the softness of a woman's breast. It's like a pillow. It's just so beautiful to have that softness, and then he can connect with the softness inside of him and calm down and feel at ease. So we go to the woman to connect with our own female side to balance our male side. So what does a woman do today? She can listen to all these things. What a man needs is this and this. She'll just feel overwhelmed and feel inadequate and feel defensive. And then she goes into resentment. I can't give him what he needs. Look, he's not giving me what I need. Because women have to receive a certain kind of support in order to find themselves. And how do you find yourself as a child? Hopefully you come into a world where your parents know how to make it safe for you to be yourself. But that doesn't always happen. So then what happens is you find a man and they're grown up, and now you can change your destiny. Or what happened in childhood, you can change it. You were maybe a victim then. You don't have to be a victim now because you have skills and tools to be able to ask for what you want in a language that he can hear. So everything about being with a man is learning how to ask for what you want in a language he can hear. If the language you're using implies blame, then he is going to shut down, period. Well, then where are you left? Well, I have needs if I can't blame him. That's limited thinking. That you have to punish someone or threaten someone to get them to change. No, you just ask. And you ask in a way that works. Now, I know as I'm saying this, you have no clue, new people to my program. Well, what do you mean ask? He doesn't do what I want. Well, maybe you're asking for too much. You have to start easy. You start with little things that you know he can do for you, that he'd want to do for you, that are not a big deal. But what you do is you build up with this resentment inside. And if you ask with resentment, like I'm giving more than him, I'm giving more, he's giving me less, well, that's your fault. You don't have to give him more. You have to regulate how much you give. Don't give to get. Men give to get. That's masculine. I do this. I sell my books to help the world. I want results. Okay, I'm working hard. But if you work hard, women, to get results, you're just a man. And if there's a man, there's no place for a man to find his female side. He can't go to you. He don't want to go to you. And so when you blame him, why are you blaming him? You want him to know that some behavior he has made you upset, disappointed you, made you mad, hurt your feelings. So you want to communicate that negativity to him, thinking that if I tell him what you're doing hurts, then he'll change his behavior. But it doesn't. Wake up. Using negative emotions to change a man's behavior doesn't work. Using positive emotions is what will change a man's behavior. And how do you, but he keeps stepping on my foot. You have to just say, honey, would you not step on my foot? I would be so much happier if you didn't step on my foot. It would be very nice. Just simple. I mean, that's a metaphor for the whole thing. But it's simply, he comes home late. What women are taught to say is, when you come home late and you don't call, I feel hurt. Would you please call in the future? Well, that all sounds very logical. It's taught in all psychology classes. When you do this, I feel hurt. Therefore, would you do this? Why do you have to say you feel hurt when you don't call? Next time, would you call me? Give me some warning, then I can know how to make dinner, whatever it is. Just have a nice conversation. You don't have to bring manipulation into it. You're taught to do that because it's instinct. You're taught to do that. You're not taught. Well, no. Now psychology classes are teaching you to do that. Now, why do the psychology classes teach you to do that? The stupidest thing in the world, to sabotage your relationships. This is how you sabotage relationships. Number one thing, you use unhappiness to control a man. Now, if you take it to the nth degree, women all know if I can just be really, really unhappy, you'll feel guilty and then you'll have to change. It's like, doesn't work. He just leaves you. He's not interested in that. He leaves you emotionally. His heart closes. He can't connect with his heart. He cannot connect with his heart. Women, you cannot connect with your heart unless you talk about your feelings. He doesn't need to do that. If he thinks he does, he's being misled as well. Well, we're also mixed up here. Men never did the stuff that psychology is telling men to do. There was a time when men had high testosterone, were strong and independent and did things. Not all were great because, there's always going to be the psychopaths. That's part of the world. And what the psychopaths do is they're corrupt. And what they do is they don't pay a man his fair share. They have slavery. Basically, if you think about Europe, it was all a bunch of psychopaths. The whole royal family are psychopaths. Okay. And as psychopaths, what they do is they felt entitled that we, by our bloodline entitles us to rule over you. We are the agents of God and we are entitled to rule over you, and you can't question that. And you didn't. People didn't question it. They had this religion telling them that, only through them they can get to God. And so you have the royal family. And so all of the European people were serfs. They're all slaves. They were serfs. And a serf meant you couldn't own your property. Okay, so you had nothing to leave your children. What a defeating thing for a man. You see, what motivates men is not only I want to be successful and feel good about myself, I want to be able to use that, what I feel good about, to help somebody, to love somebody who loves me. And now my greatness increases, my power and influence increases. The more you want to serve others, help others, the more energy comes through you. So once you have that, then you have your children, and your children, you want them, you have your grandchildren, and you want to leave them something. You want to make their lives better. Well, what part of the serfdom and slavery in America, serfdom in Europe, same thing. What that did is if you can't own property, you can't leave anything for your children. You're just renting all the time. And that's what they want right now. They say it. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy. You'll be a renter. And you'll be able to buy a certain level of things, and you won't be able to save money. That's another thing. They're already talking about this. Wake up. They're talking about this. They're going to give you free money. It's going to come. They're going to crash the economy to some extent. They're going to offer you free money as long as you wear the mark. And then with the free money, you only get so much, and it lasts for a month. You got to spend it all. So there's still an economy going on. You have to spend it all, and that you can't save. So you can't have more than anybody. Your children can't have more than anybody. They'll always be slaves to the system, and you can't own property. See, if you can just have your own property, you don't have to listen to all the corrupt government. You can have your own life. You're autonomous person, and have other people who are autonomous people who are free. Free people. That's what we came to America for. We want to leave the serfdom. We wanted to own our own property. We want to practice our beliefs without anybody telling us we can't do that. We wanted free speech. We wanted to be able to speak. We wanted to be able to protect ourselves. We wanted to be able to own our property. This is my domain. And then you don't care about other people. You only care about other people, complain about other people when you don't have what you need. And we all need a home. We all need our own place. It's in the Constitution of America, or the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights, the most important thing that makes it a republic, is granted by God, not by a government. It's the acknowledgement of that there's inherent rights that we have as human beings, and one of those rights is to own our property. And you don't. I own my house. But if I don't pay $50,000, $30,000 a year, $30,000 a year, because I have acres, $30,000 a year in property tax, I lose my property. So I don't really own it. The government owns it. The government owns everything. They want to control everything in your life. Please don't go on to this digital dollar thing that they want to do, because once they put the mark on you, they can regulate what you can eat. So they want to tell you what you can eat. They want to tell you can't eat meat. This is crazy. Not that I'm a big meat eater, but I do know that for some people who have gut issues, they can't digest vegetables. They can't digest carbohydrates and be healthy. They have inflammation. So they can go on a meat only diet, and all of their health problems go away for some people. And some people, they don't need meat so much. Some people can be vegetarians. There's one guy online, he's clearly, all he eats is fruit. All he eats is fruit. And he'll take people who have certain sicknesses and diseases and put them on a fruit diet because they can't handle the vegetables, so they can't handle the meat. You know, we all have sort of different bodies. So you have to find a body that the type of diet that works for you. We're different. And when it comes to men and women, we're different. And what works for women, men have to understand this. And if a man's not listening to me, women, and you have to just tell him. You have to tell him, I'm a woman, and when I'm stressed, my brain overreacts. When I'm stressed, my brain just wants to blame out. That's a fact. And so when you're stressed, your brain looks for what's wrong. You can't look for what's right. Blood flow goes to the right prefrontal cortex, so that you're looking over there at everything that's wrong. You can't see what's right. You cannot see what's good when you're in a stressed state. So you just say to your husband, I'm in a stressed state. I'm stressed out. I'm sorry. I can't give you the love you need. Would you help me? Be humble. Stop being so arrogant. Like, I have a right to be angry with you. One of my clients, she said to me, John, should I be angry with my husband because he did this and this? My answer, if you have a choice, never be angry. If you have a choice, never be afraid. If you have a choice, but your brain is hijacked by these negative emotions, and all negative emotions, when you share it with your partner, are blaming him, unless you share negative emotions that are blaming other people. So you want just go to your husband and watch some of these doom scrolling things to see how evil the government is, and just say, I want to talk for 10 minutes about how evil the government is, and actually get in touch with the vulnerable feelings. I know that when I talk about this, nobody wants to hear it. It's disgusting. It's dangerous. It's worrisome. This is why you need to have to be able to talk about it. But now nobody talks about it. See, if you can't talk about things and you're a woman, you can't process it. You just suppress, you repress. It pushes down. And the outcome of that is that your brain is hijacked and you can't see the good in your life. You can't be grateful in your life. You can't be happy. You can't be forgiving. You can't be accepting of your partner's mistakes. And when you're accepting of his mistakes, he can be accepting of your mistakes. When you're trusting him with your love, then he can love you more. Men mirror women. Women don't mirror men. This is a very funny thing. If my wife is happy, I am happy. When I'm happy, it doesn't make her happy. Sometimes if she's happy, she'll be happier. Sure, but just because I'm in a good mood, it doesn't make her happier, particularly if she's not happy. We're so different. Just get the difference there. So your job, women, it's not really a job. It's just to be yourself. Find yourself. Know thyself. Go inside. Feel these negative emotions. Share them with your partner. But you tell them in advance, this is not about you. It's not blaming you. And I have to really emphasize this, because when I say share your feelings without blame, women go, they already think they're sharing their feelings without blame. They'll say to their husband, I just want to tell you, I'm not blaming you. I'm just expressing how I feel. Why would you do that? I don't understand. Why would you do that? I feel like you don't care about me, and I don't know why you would do that. She doesn't compute that she's just taken out a machine gun and she do. And he's supposed to, oh, yes, you feel hurt. Well, help me understand that better. That I want to be able to change for you. I want to be able to do things better for you. It's all my fault. I feel really, really bad. You can't feel anything if you're a man, if she's shooting you with a machine gun. All you can want to do is either get out of there or shoot her back. It's fight or flight. His brain becomes upset, hijacked. He then becomes hijacked and responds to what she's feeling. So, how to create peace in the home. Stop blaming your partner, but process your emotions. You have to learn how to process your emotions about other things. It could be, I'm frustrated about what happened at work today. I saw this person, they didn't do this. I'm afraid, I'm worried that I'm not going to get this promotion with the kids. I'm worried about the kids. I know they're going through this. I'm talking to the teacher. I'm worried about that. I'm afraid of this. You have to share the emotions of the drama that goes on in your life that has nothing to do with him, and develop that skill. So you're, in a sense, you're creating a model of what I have seen work for women. They come into my office, they share their feelings about things that have nothing to do with me. So if they share their feelings about problems and drama in their life, and there's nothing to me, then I can 100% hear it. I don't have any defensive reaction. I feel compassion, I feel caring, and I feel motivated to help them. Well, that's what you have to create the situation in your own relationship, so you don't have to pay a therapist or a coach. In the meantime, you can pay a coach to do this, to learn how to share your feelings. And if you go to a Mars Venus coach, what they also do is they'll hear your frustrations with your spouse or your partner, but they also have the long-term vision of knowing, and let's see where else this comes from. Either it's things that are coming from other things in your life, or what they'll tend to do is a more advanced tool, which is saying, now, how does this relate to feelings that you suppressed when you were a child? How does this relate to feelings you absorbed from your mother or your father or their relationship? What traumas in your past are you just reliving right now? Because right now you're just reliving over and over the patterns and the traumas of your childhood, and you're not aware of it. So you think it's all about right now, but the reality is 90% of anything that causes you to feel stressed, 90% is your past. It could be your past relationship, and part of that stress is the relationship before that. The stress in that one is, it's an accumulated stress response that goes all the way back to the issues that your parents had, and their issues are their issues their parents had, because as children, we absorb everything from our parents. What they suppress goes into us. What they have not dealt with goes into us. And here we are to clean up the lineage. You get in a relationship, your partner will always trigger you. There's no doubt about it. And they'll say things and do things, and you'll overreact to it. And when you overreact to it, you practice processing your feelings. Now, how do you do this? We have our basic tools to do this. Before we finish up today, I want to remind you of the best tools I know. And I know it's hard because if you're upset with your partner, you can't talk to them. You have to you have to listen to yourself. You can't expect others to listen to you until you can hear you. And there's a thing about when your emotions flow, it's like a river self-purifying. If stagnant water just gets stinky, what happens is when you let the water flow, it will be self-purifying. It's quite magical. It really is magical. Water is so purifying. I mean, I know soap helps, but you can actually have something on your body and you just put water on it and it washes it away. It cleans it. You don't have to rag. It will just, water absorbs certain things that are dirt, put it that way. All right, so coming back to my message. I'm laughing because I have such an amazing appreciation of water. Water is so healing. I take long showers. I take cold showers, hot showers, baths. The water is so purifying. It's a pure earth frequency is water. Some people like to touch trees and put their feet into the ground, and that's nice. But for me, it's water. I love, it's fluid, it's flowing, it's emotion. And so when you're able to talk about your feelings and to yourself, okay, you listen, okay, I want him to hear me, but I should hear me. And then you just hear how negative you are. Let yourself blame. Just hear it without like being a therapist to yourself. Just hear it all. Write out what you're frustrated about, angry about, sad about, afraid about, guilty about, that regret about. Woe is me, but make sure you go through all 4 levels. And that's the feeling letter exercise. And that's what will train you to do that if you go onto the Mars Venus app. So, we have the Mars Venus Heart Space app. And you can go there right now. You can download it. I think it's still free. We're changing that so that you have to pay $5 and you get four sessions. So that's available. If you pay a little more, you get the whole year or something like that. But you can go down there. You use when you're stressed, or even if you don't think you're stressed, try it and just see what happens. I had a guy who was 23 years old. I was coaching him, and I said, now I want you to go do the app. He said, wow, this was so helpful. It was really a breakthrough experience. It is. And it's amazing. And it trains you how, without having to talk about your feelings to somebody else, you can process them inside. Then you come back to love. And when you come back to love, then you can go to your partner and ask for help. If you ask for help with any blame in your heart, making them responsible for how you feel, if you make them responsible for how you feel and you ask, it's a demand. You're basically saying, I need you to do this, otherwise I'm going to hold on to these feelings. You have to be able to let go of your negativity, then go and ask for help. So remember, this whole talk today was, how do you ask a man for help? You ask for what you want and what you would like from a place of no demands. And you do that because you've processed your feelings. And just know that anytime you're harboring, feeling, holding on to, or even suppressing negative emotions, you're not asking, you're demanding. You're just a big demanding person. You're blaming someone and saying they need to change for you to feel better. And that is not a healthy state to be in. So we covered that one. So I want to come back to, we started out today, we're talking about, I've been watching these, some on X, I've been watching some, I got in some line of Christian women, and they're talking about men need peace, men need affection, that's their code word for sex. And they don't have to beg for it or have to go for without. He's working really, really hard in his life. Why can't you be peaceful and give him what you need? Well, society used to do that when women didn't have to work. But in a society where women have to work, they're on their male side. They want to come home to peace. They need the peace. What was it? I was watching a little clip from The View, a very funny clip of these crazy women who don't know anything about men, don't have any understanding of relationship. And that just expands into their whole trying to understand the world thing. It's always coming from a place of victim. So anyway, one of the ladies on that day was like the hot blonde, and the others are not. And they were talking about relationship a little bit, and she was saying, well, I have a wonderful relationship with my husband. And they go, really? You have a good man? Do they exist, a good man? And she says, yes, I have my husband is perfect. He's like the perfect wife. And they all laughed. Ha, ha, ha. She says, yeah, I get up at 4:00, come into the city to do this show. And I do the work. I don't get home till like 4:00. I'm working hard, and he has a dinner ready for me. He's taking care of the kids. He's in a good mood. He's so happy to see me. And they're all like, amazing, amazing. She has 3 children. He takes care of all of them for her. The house is beautiful. The food is cooked. And then they say, and how's the sex? Trying to be like women who care about sex. How's the sex? And she goes, she starts laughing. We haven't had sex since our last child, 3 years, after they had 3 children. We haven't had sex since the baby. And that's what happens to so many couples, is they don't know how to create the polarity inside. And all she's thinking about is making money. There's no femininity in her at all. It's just softness, the warmth, the caring, the kindness, the home. There's none of that. And it's all just practical. In my mind, there's no question he's got a mistress somewhere else. There's no doubt. If he's a happy guy and she's not giving it to him, he's finding it somewhere else. And he rationalizes, she doesn't know better, and I'm not getting it myself, so I have to get it. So he's going to do that. Why do men stray? Because they're not getting what they need at home in most cases. Sometimes it's just opportunity, and men have to learn energetically what having affairs does to your relationship. Rich, if you'll take a note of that, I'll talk next week about
Sure.
Why men have affairs, why women have affairs. So we'll look at that. But to finish up today, I was talking about, it used to be women could provide the peace and the comfort and the affection and easily respect a man because she trusted him. See, trust is the most important thing. Then she can yield to his leadership because she feels supported and respected. Her needs have to be respected. So what do women need for estrogen? They need respect. What do men need for testosterone? They need trust. Respecting a man doesn't create testosterone, but it does make estrogen. It does help him feel more balanced. Whenever you respect someone, you honor them, you follow them in terms of giving them what they ask for. If you give someone what they ask for, you're respecting their needs. And in doing that, your estrogen levels will go up. We do have a confusion around the word respect. I do understand that. If you look it up in the dictionary, it will say to appreciate. And if you look up under appreciate, it says to respect. So there's no discernment in our mind. So I'm trying to create this because it's like we respect men. No, men have to learn to respect women. You see, women need to be respected. To honor her allows her to trust and yield to you and allow you to lead her, guide her. But this is also why women usually are attracted to older, wiser men. And there's always traditionally, there's always been an age gap of about 7 years between a man and a woman traditionally. And there's wisdom to that. I'm not saying it can't be more, it can't be less. I'm just saying the wisdom to that is that she can look up to him for guidance and support, or to do things for her that she can't do for herself or needs help with. And now today, you're a 35 years old woman, you're totally competent, you're quite capable in the world, you're out there making your money. What do you need a man for? Well, you need a man for something different, not someone to guide you or tell you what to do or whatever, because you're much younger. He has more life experience. Well, he doesn't have more life experience. Then what does he provide for you? He can provide what you ask for, and what you have to know to ask for is what you need most to lower your stress so you can give what he needs. And what do you need to lower your stress? You need to learn to process your feelings. You need to do Venus talks, which is in my book. You want to show the new book coming out, all about Venus talks, how to communicate, how to, do a Venus talk. You learn how to share your feelings and emotions about other things with him, and asking him just to listen and opening his mirror neurons that will activate his devotion to you. So there you got one of our other tools with the Venus talk. We talked a few weeks ago about the reassurance exercise. We talked about the little things that make a difference. There's so many things that you can communicate to a man that he doesn't even have to read my book for. All you have to do is to know what to ask for and how to ask in a way where he will respond, and then experience something new for men, which is you don't have to just do big things to win a woman over, to open her heart. Actually, it's a lot of little things, few big things and a lot of little things. Big things is do your best to provide for her. Don't get angry at her, or at least don't talk when you're angry. Come home and be monogamous. Those are the big things. Then all the little stuff is what makes her happier and happier. Because once you do the big stuff, over time, you'll get no credit for it. You still have to do it, but you get no credit for it, meaning there's no dopamine spike in her or you, because the brain habituates. The brain habituates something over and over and over, doesn't create a sense of newness, a spark of attraction, and so forth. So it's these little things. But the little things is not just men doing little things. In Men Are From Mars, I focus a lot on men. You got to read this book and do these little things. But now I look at the real power comes when women read the book and learn how to ask for the little things. Because when you ask, you're vulnerable. And when you're vulnerable, a man will provide more. A man will be more activated. A man will feel more motivated to do things for you. So we have that skill. We have the 5-minute ask. That's also in the book, where you learn how to ask him to do stuff and he agrees to it. He's happy to do it. It takes less than 5 minutes, and you learn why that's so important. All those are the tools. And then, of course, we also provide the Mars Venus coaching on how to lose weight. There is an issue when people start gaining weight. It's a sign their estrogen levels are going down. And for men, when you get a big belly fat just produces estrogen. It doesn't produce testosterone. What belly fat does, and fat on a woman's body does, is it starts producing estrogen for you rather than depending on a man to produce estrogen. So all this extra weight on our bodies is holding us down. It interferes with healthy hormone production, and it will block the attraction between a man and a woman. It's simply the vulnerability you feel when you don't have all this extra weight is what will pull a man in. So we have this great weight loss program. Maybe you want to start in January, or maybe you can start now. We have two. One is just very simple, is you just do two extra shakes a day, which are the high quality protein, which is pre-digested. And the reason we say we just want to coach you with this is that people don't do it the right way. Somebody just wrote to me and says, I'm boiling the water and then putting my shake. No, you don't boil the water, that kills it. So it has to be 101 degrees. When you put your protein shake into the water, let it sit for 45 minutes, or put it in the night, let it wait till the next day. A lot of questions people ask to get the real benefit, but just have 2 extra shakes a day for 30 days. And what will happen is throughout this holiday season, you'll have less food cravings. You won't gain weight. You might even lose a little weight. But the key thing in the holiday season, in the winter, is don't pack it on, because the body will tend to, in cold weather, pack on more fat. And you just don't want to have too much of that happening. It's so then in January, if you want to really, then you want to get back to your ideal weight, then you start can do cleanses and fasting and intermittent fasting. We give all this coaching for you. And what I know to be the case is that when you're getting coached by somebody, your motivation is sustained, because you have to be accountable to, am I doing it? And you're doing it. Do you do it? Can you do it? So this is what empowers people to get to make the choices and follow through, is you have support to do it, because it's a very difficult thing. All these miracle, take this pill, take this. It doesn't work. I've tested them all. I do all this stuff to see, they're just lying. What it is you do the work. There is a bit of a placebo, though, when you have a pill and you think it's going to work. It might give you a motivation. And of course, here is the ultimate, which is, unfortunately, it's been sold out. We're almost getting it back in. So hang in there. I know we've got some orders. We haven't returned them yet. They're coming soon, within days. We should have it in time for this most stressful event of the year. It's the Mars lithium orotate. It's the Venus lithium orotate, which you've heard me talk about. And just to know that lithium orotate helps to calm you without making you tired. It's not a drug. It's God's blessing. It's the mineral. It's just a mineral that we become deficient at, more so at this time, more so in modern days, because we're so high stress. Whenever you're stressed, the body uses up this mineral to lower your stress. So the more stressed you are, the more you will deplete yourself of lithium. And then there's other things that compound the benefit of lithium. Magnesium, so important for people. And then there's rhodiola rosea, Arctic root. It's what they give the Russian athletes, which is, it's a part of Russia over there, Caucasian mountains. And it gives them stamina. It produces, the research shows it increases dopamine, it increases serotonin. Add lithium, and now lithium balances the dopamine and serotonin. It also stabilizes your blood sugar with saffron, takes away your food cravings, so you can feel complete, satiated after you eat a meal. These are like really valuable things to do. It's not the only supplements. I don't use that many supplements, but occasionally, right now I'm coming back to using some NAD+. It's a good one. I've used it in the past, and then I feel like I don't need it for a while. But lithium orotate, I know, because there's stress in life, we become depleted in that. It's very, very important. One of the other things I'm recommending for your energy levels is creatine. It's becoming very popular now. Everybody's waking up to it. There's been some research that said you can take up to 20 grams a day. And when you do that, I would do that just for jet lag. It was known to take away jet lag. Wherever I go, people go, "Where's your jet lag?" I said, I don't have jet lag. And a big part of that is if you take 20 grams, not milligrams, 20 grams, it's like 2 tablespoons. That's not 2 tablespoons. It's like 4 teaspoons, something like that. But you get your 20 grams, you slowly build up to it. You do 10 and then 10. It's pretty intense, but it gives you energy. It's not a stimulant in any way. It just makes you not run out of energy. So you have energy, you just don't run out of energy. So it's a complicated process, but creatine, cheap. You can get it online. Add it to your superfood shake, particularly the ones I recommend, because they have the highest quality, in my opinion, the highest quality protein, which is called grass-fed cows. What they do with cows is they give them corn, because they'll produce more milk, but then you don't get the same benefit of the milk. Okay, it's a different substance, really different whole thing. And what I've done is taken the cow milk and turned it into mother's milk, human mother's milk, basically by restoring the balance. Mother's milk is 50% casein, 50% whey protein, approximately. And cow milk is 90% casein and 10% whey protein. So when you get the right balance, your body can now start utilizing milk again. Otherwise, it's just the body can't handle it, because our bodies have adapted to pasteurized milk and become allergic to it. It's very hard for people to deal with dead milk, whereas it's still alive and it's not super heat processed like a normal milk. So, you have to get the right quality, and then you have to prepare it in the right way. And it turns into peptides. And instead of paying thousands of dollars to get amino acid peptides for your brain, You just buy a shake, which can replace a meal, can actually make your food budget less if you're using it as meal replacement. Or you can just take it as an add-on so that you don't have weight gain. And it's characteristic. It's odd, here you're giving yourself more protein, but you're not gaining weight because you don't gain weight. You actually gain more muscle mass and you lose fat by adding more protein to your diet. So those are some of the extra things that I recommend, that I offer during this time. This is a stressful time. Please make use of it. Please share this out to your friends. And let's make this a peaceful Christmas. Use the app. Journal your feelings. Don't get into arguments. Practice not talking. If something inside is negative, just don't talk. Just don't talk. You don't have to. Don't create the conflict. And for women, when men seem to be bothered or stressed, ignore him. Don't bother with him. Men, when your wife is upset about something, don't talk. Just do something around her. Let her feel that she's not being seen as a bad person. And of course, if she knows how to share upset about other things, then it's safe to talk about your negative emotions to your partner. Otherwise, don't destroy the wonderful holiday seasons, and celebrate. The app also gives you lots of good feedback when you're upset. It gives you comforting analysis. It gives you affirmations. It writes poems for you. It tells a story about you. It's all happy ending stuff. It's very sweet. You have to give yourself positive messages, and this is a time to do that. So I hope you enjoy the holiday seasons. Thanks for joining me, and I wish you a Merry, Merry Christmas. Goodbye.
Thanks, John. And next week we'll talk.
Thank you for watching the Shades of Grey podcast with Dr. John Gray, best-selling author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, share, and subscribe. And follow Dr. Gray on all social media platforms for more timeless relationship wisdom. For free tools to create deeper love and better communication, visit marsvenus.com and take Dr. Gray's free course, How to Get Everything You Want in Relationships. And don't miss next week's episode of the Shades of Grey podcast, where understanding brings us closer together.